Dan DeVerna here, doing my normal check-ins. You see here in my hand, this is one of the temperature things. Everybody's got these now. We have them in the office. We're officially open, so that's good news. Seen a lot of restaurants opening up. A lot of businesses are kind of getting back to work. New processes, new procedures, new things for all of us to be doing. Cleaning much more thoroughly than we used to, before meetings, after meetings, all those things. So, but good to see lots of stores opening back up. I'm in front of V Couture. My good friend Valentine owns this place. It's a little boutique clothing store, and it's good to see those kind of, I'm uptown Perrysburg, and see kind of Perrysburg coming back to life a little bit. A lot of people outside, weather's starting to break, so a lot of good news there. On other fronts, we have my son Drake, an update on him. He's still in Guam. Quite a process there with him. Got off the ship, tested negative, was in isolation for 14 days, then got out of isolation, tested positive, then tested negative, then tested positive, then tested negative, then tested positive, and then most recently tested negative for the virus. So the great news there is that he's been asymptomatic, never had a temperature over 100. He feels fine. He's kind of just hanging out in Guam and looking for another negative test, and then he can kind of get back to work, whether it's come back to San Diego or go back to the ship. Uncertainty for sure. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Other things that are going on, even some of our activities, we're seeing a lot more people outside, but we're starting martial arts again. For me, that's a really big deal. So excited about that. Business as usual is happening, but it's also not as usual. So we've got a lot of clients starting to come into the office. That's happening kind of in a trickle effect, but we're doing a lot of reviews with Zoom phone and FaceTime, and we're also doing a lot with just traditional phone calls and emailing. We've got a new system with DocuSign, so a lot of the documents that were these heavy lifting things we used to have to do, we can now do with an email. It's really easy. One of the other things that I've seen a lot of lately is people that have kind of been organizing all their stuff because they had a lot of time at home. That financial junk drawer is now cleaned up. So we're happy about that. We're starting to see some people say, hey, let me know when I can come in and bring all my stuff. I've got this old life insurance policy I bought from my ex-brother-in-law back in the day, or I've got this, or I've got that I inherited. So those things are good. Thought I'd touch on something. I had two really good questions from a new client that we're just starting to work with, and he's a doctor who works for Mercy. And he said, hey, I hear you work with a lot of the Mercy people. And he said the really simple question, why would I hire you? I've been asked that question lots of times, and I went back to the baseline of why people like to have us involved, and that is to have a plan. You know, whether you have a business coach, which I have, or a health coach, or a dietitian, or a doctor, you like to have those things kind of laid out for you by somebody that does that every day. So that was a big answer. The next question I thought was even more interesting, and that was, so what investment should I buy? And so I kind of drew the parallel with him, of him being a doctor, and just saying, me walking in and saying, all right, what's wrong with me, doc? And so I wanted to kind of slow him down, and we went through our process of kind of getting to know him. We're in the process right now of getting to know him a little bit better, and then we'll be able to diagnose what's going on. We know all the moving parts, and we can then have some clarity as to the direction we're going to go. I think everybody does better with a plan. I think that's one of the things. If you told me that I was going to have to start over in this business, but I was allowed to take some of the things that I've learned, having a plan and a process every single day is a really big deal. Like knowing what success looks like, communicating what success looks like. Hey, what are your expectations? What should be our expectations out of this relationship? Those are all really big deals. We all operate best like that. Everybody stay safe out there. Let me know how I can help in any way. If any of your friends need help, that's what I'm here for. That's why we exist. Hope to see you soon.